Hey, we're live. Welcome back for the afternoon session, everyone. Lano, Richard, JR, Pablo, Vivian. Hello, Pablo. Are you brand new to the channel? Hey, Molly. Oh, Argentina. All right. Give me one moment. You're from Buenos Aires, or you're from another city? Hey, no problem, Pablo. Hello, Void. Missed you this morning, but how's it going? Luis. Oh, in the center. Okay. Excellent. Well, glad to have you. Hopefully, we are able to meet your expectations. If you have any questions, just jump in the chat and ask us. And usually there's somebody who's here to answer it for you, either myself or one of the other subscribers. We're doing good, Boyd. We're doing well. Doing well. You can see. So we were able to catch this long here from this breaker just before lunch. We had been waiting for it the entire time from the opening bell all the way as it was trading down. We marked out our levels. We waited for it to hit, and it finally came down and hit just after 11 o'clock. We waited for the breaker to be confirmed, and I'm assuming many of us rode this up to the top. Unlike many other trades, this was one that I was in on as well. I hope so, TJ, because it seemed like everyone's always waiting for me to get in before they get in. So I mean, they can't say anything this time. I was in on it. Yep, and it went delivered right where I thought it would. I was looking for somewhere around midpoint of this wick, and then willing to take profits out before and right to it. Then we had the FOMC member come in and speak, and price kind of just moved sideways from there. Yes, William, new colors, definitely. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and mark it where we are. Welcome back, Ray. Let's go down to the 1 minute just for the last couple here until the macro finishes. Fair value gap from the 1 minute on the chart. All right, let's all keep in mind we do have another FOMC member, Mester, I believe, is speaking at 2 o'clock. So just check in there. Yep, Mester is speaking at 2. So let's just keep that in mind as we look for setups this hour. Also, before we get going, let's go ahead and take a look at where the other indices are, where they're trading at the moment. All right, so I thought the dollar would hit here and push down, but it did not. So what happened is during the speech, we actually violated the level and closed above. So let's see now if this hour closes it in. So there is no bullish fair value gap. If this hour does not close it in and we have a bullish fair value gap, then we may actually see higher prices later on for the dollar. So okay, so only S&P took out the high, the New York high. Only S&P did that. We got really close on NQ. Yep, we'll look at it on a lower time frame. And I don't even need to put this up here for the Dow. We see the Dow didn't even make an attempt, didn't even get close. But even S&P, it took the high, but it rejected out and closed below. So let's just, again, keep that in mind as we're looking at setups for this hour, as well as we know that we have a medium impact news event coming at 2 o'clock. Sorry, I peeked down at the chat. Saw Void and TJ. All right, let's get back over to the charts here. But as I mentioned, when we were looking at the comparison, we did not take the New York high. And in fact, I didn't mark those up this morning. So let me at least mark up the high since it hasn't been taken yet. Right. And it's probably worth it to do New York low as well. Good advice, TJ. Glad you put that in the chat. That's a good point. TJ he mentioned that he was gonna jump in on the Asia range and catch something. For the previous long that we took, no. So the previous long we took, this one here, this was a breaker block. Now you could call it a turtle soup, but that would have meant you would have been entering down here. Would it be in the breaker block? I'm looking for an entry up here because I'm looking for the confirmation that this blue shaded area is gonna hold price. So I'm looking for price to trade above and close on the 5-minute chart. So my entry, that's why you saw my entry at, I think it was at 504. I entered somewhere around right here. And so that's the part that I was looking for here. But I don't know if you remember, some of the subscribers talked about getting in down here. So that was more of a turtle soup entry where they were looking for it to touch and then take off. And we had been looking for this level to be swept. So that would be your turtle soup if you were going to enter down here. Yep. Yeah, you're right. It was a turtle soup. It was an OTE from here, trading up. Right, we were down at 70%. And then if you wanted an entry up here, a more conservative entry, it was the breaker block. So there were several models that would have gave you the same or similar entry in the same area. It's just some were more aggressive than others, and you would have got in about 20 points before the breaker would have given you an entry. Actually, around 25 points. Some music. I'm trying to stay away from the music. Oh, okay, Sniper. I'll see you tomorrow. Catch you later. No, I'm trying to stay away from streaming music. And for one, you got to find music that's not copyrighted, and for two, you got to, find something that's suitable for all. And it's more of a headache. So I'm trying to stay away. Plus, when I trade, I don't trade with music, so it's not something that I even look for. JDK, okay, lo-fi hip hop in the background. All right, Chicago downtown. Hmm. Maybe that'll be an upgrade in the future if I feel the need for it and realize that majority of people are looking for that as well. Nishan. Okay. Sometimes it can break below a fair value gap. It can react to a double top. Okay. Nishan, where exactly are you talking about? Can you point me to the candle or to the marker so I can find what you're talking about? What's going on, Splash? Black Phoenix, welcome back. Get rid of this level. I'm gonna go ahead and do this one more time to get this measurement. See equilibrium on the last price leg. See, we got a breaker here. We do have a breaker here, and we do. Yes, we do. Oh, the day before, a lot of fake outs. Go down below 18,456. Okay. You're right. It can go down below here. So you're saying double tops. So I'm assuming you're saying it'll go down below this fair value gap and get these sweep these equal lows along with the New York low. Yeah, that's definitely possible. And then it can hit this 1 hour fair value gap, find support and come back up, or hit the larger area coming back up as well. Okay. Yeah. Yep, you're right. So it can break past here, hit the midnight open. Yeah, if I would probably favor this midnight open move. If we get to 3 o'clock and we're just still kind of bouncing around in this middle area here, then I would favor a sweep below these lows that we saw just before lunch and down into the midnight open. Possibly, actually, probably if it comes down, pushing past the midnight and hitting New York. It'll probably, I would favor also leaving London open, but sweeping New York with midnight open, I can see that happening. Okay, you're still beginner and you're new. Okay, no problem. So Nishan, when you have questions, yeah, just throw it in the chat, and don't worry, we'll help you out the best we can. I yeah, Twista is mostly the Tupac era. He was most people will remember him. People who know him will remember him from the '90s. But yeah, he did have that small time period when Kanye first came out that he was popular. But majority of his work was done prior to that. Oh, you got 52? Nice, Brad. Good job. $1,000 on a mini. Black Phoenix. I thought you were talking about moving somewhere. I don't know why I felt like it was a Pacific island. It was the slow jams. Yeah, that was towards the end. No, I didn't get in. The entry would have been here. It would have been on this candle at 110. So about 15 minutes ago, this the entry would have been there. Right? When it came back and touched the center point. And the thing is, I don't really know how far it wants to retrace. I put the equilibrium just in case it wants to just come down to 50% and bounce, but it doesn't necessarily have to. It can turn around here and just take off. Um, but I just marked this up because it is a breaker, right? So we had take this. So we had our high reach and it traded down to a low and traded up to a higher high and traded down to a lower low, closing outside this, closing below this low right here. This one closed lower, traded back in, and now we're trading below it. Well, it looks like it's coming back in now for another retest, right? And it could be that maybe it wants to continue buying, so this breaker could fail. Not every breaker works. Majority of them do, but not everyone does. I do prefer the unicorns, so I prefer there to be a fair value gap, which looks like we might have one right here. Super small one. And that also looks like where price just traded from. Traded right into the upper limits, and now it's down. Mhm. Can I say something about my strategy? Sure. So my strategy is exactly this. It's the breaker. So the breaker, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but it's this formation where you had a high, and it created a low, and then you broke both sides. So this high is higher than this high, and this low is lower than this low, which creates this blue box, this range. This first range is the blue box. Once price trades below and closes, and you got to remember, we're looking at a 5-minute time frame. Then a retrade back inside is when you take the short. And you can do low hanging fruit, which could be this 50% area where price may retreat to and then go bullish again. So you don't want to stay in too long, because you got to remember, this morning, so far we're bullish. Price over time is moving up. So anytime you want to take an entry going lower, you want to make sure you're not in too long, and that your targets are a little close. So if you're in with multiple contracts, you want to start taking partials early. If you're only in with one contract, be a bit more conservative on your exit. But in a nutshell, that's the strategy. So you want the breaker setup, which is the blue box, and inside the breaker, you want a fair value gap, which then turns this setup into what we call the unicorn setup. And that is coming from ICT. So if you need more information about the unicorn setup, there's lots of videos on YouTube. If you go to my Discord, there's also a few others. The best, well, the person you should probably look into the most is a person named Ash Trades, ASH. He has a little playlist about the unicorn setup that he goes over, which will give you all the details that you need about this strategy. And yeah, that's what we're looking for on a daily basis to execute from. Oh, okay, got it. Marshall Islands. You were just going to visit. Oh, I thought you were looking to relocate. So I missed that whole part where relocation was actually to DR, not to Marshall Islands. Good afternoon, Jay Stores. Kobe. Uh, I have selected Topstep only because of the trailing drawdown that Apex uses. I'm not against the trailing drawdown. It's just a different way of managing your trade. So you just have to go into it with a different mindset. And so likely when I finish Topstep or max out on Topstep contracts, I will look into Apex as a secondary company to use. It's always good to diversify your portfolio, just like in anything else. And Apex also allows you a bit more flexibility on accounts. They allow you to have 20 accounts, which Topstep maxes out at 3. So there's pros and cons on each one. I have selected Topstep to start with, but I most likely will move on to Apex as well and have both. And also my funded futures, I just need to look more into them and get a bit more comfortable with the rules for their combine. But I see all three as a viable option. Aim key, no problem. Or sorry. Yep, aim key. Yeah, when you get to Apex, that's when you want to go and get the 10 or 20 accounts. You want to make sure they're at the 50,000 level, and you want to do scalping or just 10-point moves where you're just looking for $250. Once you get it, you close your trade. I don't think if you're the type of person that likes to get 50 points or 75 points, or if you're counting ticks, 200 ticks or better, I'm not sure Apex is the best solution for you, just because your trade could go halfway there and then retrace on you, and you get you get penalized for not realizing those gains. Exactly. Yep. Exactly what M said. Yeah, you want to keep each trade, get you 150, $200, close it. Get another setup, do the same thing, and after 4 or 5 days, you're up to $1,000 or more. And then if you have multiple accounts, you multiply that by your amount, by the amount of accounts you have, and then you're playing ball at that point. Yep, exactly. And so if you're getting $200 on a trade, you do that for 5 days. Now you got $1,000. You got 20 accounts. Now you're talking about $20,000 on really small short trades. Right. So this setup right here that we're looking at, if you had an Apex account, you'd already be finished. You would have taken your entry here at the fair value gap at 47. And at 37, you would have had 10 points, $200. You would have closed your trade. And that happened right on this wick here. right? And you'd be done for the day. And we're only 30 minutes into the session. ES reached discount already? Okay. Yep, sure did. Traded below the fair value gap that it had. It was a bullish fair value gap. It's traded below, but it's inside of a much larger bearish fair value gap. So you know what? Let's grab that while we're looking, or while we're talking about it. All right, let's get out of here. Okay, so far this hour, we've kind of had a mixed bag here on the dollar on the far left. Looks like it traded up a little bit, then traded back down. Did it get to halfway? No, it didn't. But now it's kind of bouncing a little bit higher. So we'll keep monitoring that. It hasn't really shown his hand yet. However, on the indices side, we see heavy bearish pressure pushing lower. It's near the lowest values of the hour. And someone did mention that we've already traded below equilibrium on S&P. And that is absolutely true. We're approaching 61% retracement on S&P. We have not gotten that far. Right? We're just barely at 38% here on Nasdaq, so we're not quite there yet. 50% on Nasdaq is right at the 23 level, so right at 423. I'm sorry, 523. But we can see there's a big bearish fair value gap that S&P is inside of, as well as the Dow. So that's the pressure it's feeling. And the Nasdaq, that's not there. There is no bearish fair value gap. Let's see why. Okay, there never was. It wasn't created. So we're still bullish. We're still looking for longs, but it has to be a good setup. It can't just be a finger in the air. And then we'll switch back over. Justin, you can continue it, but if you're profitable and you're consistent, once you get to 20,000 in payouts, they offer you a live account, which comes with fewer restrictions. And so most people take the live account instead of staying in a funded account. And another strategy that a lot of people do is that if you're wildly profitable and you know you're consistent, what a lot of people do is they use prop firms to fund their own private account. So you go and you make 50,000 or 25,000 or whatever it is you think you need for your private account. Use the prop to fund that for you, and then it's your cash. You can do whatever you want. You can trade after 4 o'clock if you want. You can hold over sessions if you like. So a lot of those restrictions are then gone, and you're not also worried about trailing drawdown or maximum loss on a day or any of those things. Um, so it just gives you more flexibility, and you're able to build the money from another source without pulling out of your own pocket. So that's another strategy that people use. But I guess you could just always trade prop firms. Been in since 546. Okay, sweet. Right at the breaker. I Let's see. Maj Cornell. Do I use SMT? Not particularly, no. But there are other subscribers in the room that do use SMT, and they usually point it out to me because I'm usually I don't notice it. So there are people in the room that use SMT, and we'll make sure that we're all aware of it. I watched the dollar, Brian Byrne. I watched the dollar um for confluence for possible setups. VIX. I'm not sure what VIX is. But no, I use the dollar and then I use all three indices. Yeah, 5 minute busy. All right, Ray. So let's mark that up. So we'll see when this busy fails. So far, the candle bodies are still inside, even though we had this one wick. I think it just got outside on the lower edge, but we still have all the candle bodies inside, even though each candle body is closing lower. Lourdes, let's see. Here are the indicators. I use FVG, Nephew Sam. So this is a free one from TradingView. And this is what gives me my fair value gaps. But I only use the 1 hour. So I check the 1 hour. So when I'm bouncing around between time frames, it keeps the 1 hour fair value gaps on the chart for me, even if I'm looking at a 5 minute. So that's the only one I use. If you use the first option, which is default, every time you change a time frame, it'll give you that time frame's fair value gaps. So, so I use this one, and I use the new week opening gap, new day opening gap. This one gives me, it just marks out. So this lime green area at the bottom is the new week opening gap from Sunday at 1800. So all week long, I'm looking at that level to see how price reacts to it. Those two I leave on the chart. The midnight open I use just to mark it out in the morning, and then I turn it off. Even though I mean it's easy to find a midnight and 8:30 open, you just go to the 15-minute candle and you can grab those levels and put a mark there. And then I have another one that shows me the session highs and lows for Asia, London, and for New York. But this one's not free. The TGFX previous day high and low is not free, so you have to do it yourself or find another indicator that gives you previous day highs and lows. So in the morning, I come in and I look at London. Okay, and if the high and low have not been traded to, I put those on the chart and we look for price to trade in that direction. Like you'll see here, we still have from this morning, we have the New York open that has not been traded to, and we have the London low. I'm sorry, the New York low and the London low. Both of them have not been traded to, so they're still on the chart. And they'll stay there until we trade to them. But that makes it easy if we start selling off and you're looking for levels as to where to exit your trade. You can partial at midnight open, you can partial at the New York low, you can partial at the London low, or however you want to do it. But those are the indicators that I use. Nishan, I do not use the VWAP. And I don't use EMAs either. Sometimes I'll look at the EMA just to kind of quickly get a glance at where price is, especially when it's consolidating, whether it's bullish or bearish. But no, I don't really use it that much. Do I have a cool or nice watch? Not really. No, maybe one day, but not right now. Oh, VIX is a volatility index. Okay, thanks for that, CBS. Tracks the S&P. Okay, so I do use the S&P for Confluence, the S&P and the dollar and the Dow. So I use all four together. Okay. Queen, you took the breaker short. Okay, good. All right, so we've now traded below equilibrium, now into discount of this price leg just before lunch. All right, so I missed this completely, but we have it now. So this was the lunchtime low. We'll check again at 1:30 and see if we have a, well, too late. 1:30's already happened. Yep, so this was the lunch low, just got taken out during the last candle. Obviously, we have the lunch high. I'm not going to mark it up because it's so close to the New York high, so we know it's right there. Take this off. Yeah, TJ, I should have took it too. I saw it, marked it up and everything. I just hate when I don't have it early. I hate when I catch it after it just moved out and then it trades back in. I don't know why. I can't get comfortable in that moment. I don't know why. Nishan, why do you want me to check out another indicator? I like the ones that I have. I'm not looking to add any more. If you want to use that tool, that's fine. Smart Money Concepts is very similar to the style that I'm trading, so that should work for you if you use that. I don't know whether that's a good indicator or not. Okay, 20 tick profit, good. All right, we're back down to where we were before. And this was the entry I was looking for before. I don't know if you guys remember just before lunch, I had a limit order just below the market execution that I took. So I took a market execution up at 504 and I had a limit order down at 496 or 494 actually. And I was hoping for price to come down and tap that. Dow just took lows. Okay, sweet. I sold at S&P. S&P swept the low too. They swept lows to get back into a bullish fair value gap. So let's now look and see if price wants to flip itself around. And in 1 minute, our macro begins. So let's drop down to the 1 minute. On the 1 hour, only the Dow is bearish. S&P and Nasdaq are both bullish. Uh, all right, so here on the 1 minute time frame, record structure happens at 524. If we build back up to 524, we can see that happen. Otherwise, we'll look for price to continue south below 502. Medium impact news in 6 minutes. I hear you, Brian. Yeah, if you keep watching it, every time you see a little small pullback, you're going to jump out of the trade. So yeah, it's best to set your stop loss wherever you want it to be and where you're comfortable. Set your TP where you're comfortable and just walk away and let the market do the rest. It's that it's that fear of loss that forces you to close your trade. All right, we got still 15 more minutes, and I'm hopeful that we get some retracement down here, sweeping this low, and then we start seeing price want to turn around. But if it wants to turn around here and sweep this high, I'm okay with that as well. Okay, good one, William. You know yourself, so you know you need that constant reminder. Wow, 85, and now feels like 40. Yeah, you're gonna have another couple weeks of that, TJ, and then things are iron out. At least you're not in the Northeast where it does this until mid-May or something, or end of May. Lano, I can't tell you how many times that's happened to me. And when it taps me out, it's not like it taps me out and it goes 5 points lower. It taps me out by one tick, usually. And it's because obviously I put my stop loss way too tight, or I put it in a very common area where it knows it can go and grab several at a time. Yeah, I've gotten to the point now where when it taps me out and then it goes in that direction, I just laugh. And it's, I don't even get sad anymore. It's just more of a, I need to do better. But um, I look at the bright side of the equation, and that's the fact that I had a winning trade and I saw the market properly. And so that gives me confidence that the next setup can also work. So I move forward that way. Yeah, JER 30, or it used to be JER 30, now JER 40. It is very similar to the Dow. All right, there we go. Keep going. Bingo. All right, midpoint of the breaker there. Wow, look at that. We're not even at the medium impact news event yet. That's still a minute and a half away. All right, everyone, we're heading into 2 o'clock now for our news event. If you're liking the stream so far and you got value out of the first hour, hit the thumbs up for me. Yep, anyone who shorted out of the breaker, if you stayed in, you just pulled in 50 points. Uh, all right, here's our news event. Let's see what it does for us. $10 finally, break even for the day. All right, good job. Way to go. The lunch low was here. The lunch low was over here. O'clock. Yeah, lunch low was around 5:30. Nishan, all right, you got 50 points. Sweet. Queen, you more than anybody should know there's always another setup. Oh, yeah, the 4 hour was just created. Yep. The hour that just closed created a 4 hour fair value gap below us, starting at 480 down to 463. We still have a few minutes before the macro is over. Now let's move these. Okay, the dollar opened up this hour, pushing higher. Let me just do a measurement and see what its retracement is from that leg down it had. Okay, it just hit 70%, heading towards 78. So it's in between 71 and 78% on the retracement for the US dollar. All right, we continue to see it push lower. Right now, we're below the new week opening gap now. Let's go up in time frame. Midnight open within range here. Bring the market reader. A trading buddy that has recently joined your channel. She made 37 points in that trade. Sorry, nailed it. Oh, awesome, Robin. That's great. Congrats to your friend who joined. I'm glad your friend was able to find value in the stream so far. And it's good to have somebody you're learning with, so at least you guys can help each other and also motivate one another. Right, even lower. New York low is in the crosshairs and looks like it was tapped, possibly. Nishan, yes, you did say something about hitting the midnight open and violating the fair value gap that was there. See, the New York low is at 42 and a quarter. Well, doesn't matter now. It's gone. TJ, it's me and you both. We're both still watching. Yep. We'll still look for something else this afternoon, and if nothing comes, then we'll nail it tomorrow during NFP. Wow, man, the chat is exploding. I'm having trouble catching up. But this is exactly what I wanted it to be. I wanted to be so much going on, and I don't see everything. Hey, you're right, Johan. Today is the day you wish you held longer. You're absolutely right. And the great part about it was we had the breaker and we nailed it going up just before lunch. It moved sideways. The breaker the opposite way showed up and nailed it coming down. Absolutely, Queen. That's why when it does this, I'm glad that I saw the setup and I know what it should look like, and I just wait for the next one. It doesn't allow you to share links, Nishan. It doesn't allow you to share links. You can go into Discord and share your chart if you want and ask a question or point out something that you have, but it doesn't allow you to do that here on YouTube. Only person can share links is me. I believe I'm struggling. I can't even keep up with the chat. All right, let's get back to the setup. London low is still available at 410. Earlier, I was saying I thought New York might be taken and they'd leave London. And I only said that just because by leaving this one open, it maintains a bullish bias. It's the same as like leaving that bottom fair value gap open. What ICT calls the breakaway gap. Wait, hold. No, it didn't. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. There goes the London low. So all session highs and lows are gone, with the exception of New York high. And we got within a point or two of taking that. Up 140 points, Tom. Nice. All right. Yeah. Anyone who got in at the breaker and you're still in it, yeah, you're up 140, 150 points now. I'll be honest, I didn't see this type of move coming, not from a medium impact event. JDK, I don't even know what shadow theory is, so no, I don't believe in it. Tell me about shadow theory. Okay, I must have forgotten about shadow theory already. There's so many things out there for trading, and I just got to the point to where I said what I know is what I need to know. I need to master what I all the tools that I have, as opposed to continuing to add more things and feeling like something else would be, I guess, the master tool that would change my trading or would increase my profitability. It just got to the point I said I know enough. I need to just work with what I have. And so I haven't really been looking at a lot of different educational material over the last probably 9 months. And one thing I did notice is that nearly everything works. I don't care what indicator you want to use. I don't care what strategy you want to use. Everything doesn't work all the time, but everything works. So you just got to figure out what you like and what speaks to you and master that. Okay, ICT's coming back April 8th. Okay, that's Monday, I guess. No, Queen, I didn't see that video. I didn't realize he had a student that was number one in the leaderboard. All right, so we're back at the new day opening gap here. This little small yellow sliver, you can barely see it on the chart. Like I gotta make it massive because it's only a point maybe. And this is where we opened up yesterday at 1800, and we can see now. So what that means is, and this is what that really means. This morning we took a look at it, the regular trading hour gap. We just closed it out. That's what happened. So we've just now traded back to where we were at 10 after 4 yesterday. Oh, his mother-in-law passed away? Okay. Yeah, I saw someone said sorry for your loss, but I didn't realize, I didn't know who it was. And I know last year, I think his mother-in-law was having some health issues because he mentioned that. But it seemed like she had gotten better, but maybe she had a turn for the worse recently. Yeah, exactly. Queen, be grateful that you can see the setup 80, 90% of the times that they set up, so you can always get the next one. Oh, that's true on the quarterly theory for the year. We're now in Q2. So it's what accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution. Is that the way the quarterly theory works? Uh, well, not exactly, J Stores. I did have a setup here at the top. I missed this one. I just completely missed this one. And everyone who caught it, hey, kudos to you. Good job. And look at what ensued after that. We tore through every level that had been built this morning, including London level, trading back to yesterday's close. So that was sweet. I did catch one this morning. Well, earlier before lunch, I caught this leg up, but I'm trying to get people to not be so caught up on you know what I'm doing and focus more on their own trading and their own learning and trying to figure out where the gaps are that they need so they can see the setup that I see and they can take them. Mm. Oh, okay. Okay, Queen, I got it. Okay, so it's coming soon, some point. So maybe he won't trade on Monday. Maybe it'll be delayed based on his mother-in-law's health. You're right, Ray. That's all we ask for is that there's volatility. We don't care which direction, just move. Don't consolidate. Don't don't do seek and destroy. If you're gonna do seek and destroy, at least give us a 200-point price range. Yep. Yeah, guys, we just saw price drop. I don't know, 170 points or so. So Be patient. Let's not look for be chomping at the bits for an entry in the next 2 minutes. You know, price is gonna probably manipulate or do something before it actually goes in the opposite direction if that's what it's gonna do. And if you missed it, just see what's possible and what price can do, and then focus more on how to catch the next one. JDK, you're right. You can absolutely hit the like button, whether you made money or not. Seek and destroy is where price just takes out a high. Basically, it continues to do turtle soup. So take a high, go down, sweep a low, come back up, sweep the previous high, go down, sweep the most recent low, and just keep going back and forth. Mm-hmm. Yep. And really, this was the entry with a 20-point stop loss, right? And the 1 to 2, you would have got out before you even got to this fair value gap. Not to mention if you rode it through the fair value gap and through the new week opening gap. And where we are now, it's already, oh, I'm already outdated and it's still running, right? So we're already at a 1 to 9, and that's with a 20-point stop loss, which not everyone is going to exercise. Oh, Pip Keeper, yeah, the regular trading hour gap, that's been long closed. It definitely closed that out. Do I see a next target? I'm sure we can find one. Have to go to higher time frame though, but we can find one. It's a little far. Let's see what else we got. There you go, 324 and 303. All right, lower than that, and we have the New York Open from yesterday. So this will be This one's gone. 310 looks to be gone as well, and it is. All right, now the next one I'm looking at is 271. Yep, and just so everyone knows, this is, I'm sure, not related to that medium impact news. So this is how you know there's really an algorithm that runs this price. Nothing that person meant said during a medium impact event would send price reeling like this. Yeah, that 1 hour candle looks massive. And then the 1 hour is at the very low end, so at the bottom edge of the fair value gap here. Oh man. But one thing's for sure, with this type of price moving this low, it has to retrace. It can't leave that big of a gap there. So that's why I don't feel bad about missing it, because you can still get in at another time, either just after when it's building back up, only to go lower, or maybe we'll catch a breaker down here, which will take us back into the new week opening gap. And it doesn't have to happen today. It could happen tomorrow. It could be what NFP tomorrow. We can have a complete reversal of all of this and put in new highs. Yep. Already at a 1 to 14. 1 to 14. Risk reward on this. Yep. Yeah, you're right. 290 points in profit already. Yep. All right. So we got a breaker from early in the morning yesterday. We're looking to see if that's going to hold up, support price, and ultimately push higher. Price is pushing so hard, I'm running out of real estate on the screen here. Not exactly. Group guide, I don't think, no, not everyone. Some people are with Apex, some are with My Funded Futures, and some are with Topstep. Finally, price gave us 3 minutes off from just letting the bottom fall out. Okay, Brett. All right. Well, good luck on your new combine. See if I can get 8. Need a better entry than that. It's 307. See if this gives me a run up. All right, that's not going to work. All right, I'll give up on that for now. At least we see the price has stalled for a bit. So that gives us some optimism that there might be another entry to get this afternoon. Otherwise, this move that we just saw during the 2 o'clock hour may be all we get. But let me drop down to the 5 minute for now. Oh, you're still in a short time? Okay. Yeah, I took one too, Queen, and that curled back on me. Oh, tactical. Maybe you're over trading. I'm not sure. All right, we're coming up on a 1 hour fair value gap below. So it looks like we will possibly violate this one. It just depends on where we close in the next 15 minutes. If we're still below, or if we're able to maybe bounce, maybe sweep this yesterday's low or 2 days ago low, and then get back into this area before the close of the hour, then we could potentially save this fair value gap. Otherwise, it'll invalidate itself. Let's stretch down just to see. All right, so we're over a 1 to 15. I'm going to delete this now. And we have the macro coming up in just 4 minutes. Hey, no problem, Dean. Mhm. Mhm. Oh, you don't get market structure? Yeah, Dean, click the link in my description. You'll see a social media link for my Discord. Go into the Discord and you'll find a video for market structure that will help you. Just give me a second. I'll tell you where it's at. Yeah, once you go into the Discord, click into Trading Library. And when you go into Trading Library, the very first video is on market structure. It'll help you out. It'll help you figure out where the protected highs are and protected lows, so you know when market structure shifts and then when price is moving in a different direction. So yeah, definitely go into the Discord and click that. It's a YouTuber named Strange ICT, and he'll line you up with market structure. So don't worry about it. You'll get there. But yeah, without having a firm grasp on market structure, you're going to be lost us more often than not. See if you get a 1 minute breaker here. Yep. Okay. Well, aim key, same thing for you. Just go into the Discord and you'll find it under Trading Library. Or if you don't want to do that, you just want to go and just start looking on YouTube, just find the user Strange ICT, and then he has several videos on market structure. we're inside the macro, and I want to see a structure break in this time period. In these 20 minutes, I want to see price structure break. All right, let's see if the April 3rd low and April 2nd low get taken. Hey, there's the April 3rd low. So we had another low swept during the breaker. I'm sorry, during the macro period. And now let's see if April 2nd's low is going to hold. April 2nd's low is, let me check and see if that's the low of the week. And it is. All right, so we're looking at the weekly low here. Goop God. Yeah, generally two wins would be enough. 2 wins would be enough to stop trading for the day. All right, looks like price is clearly not done moving lower. So let's look at those the April 2nd low, which is also, as I mentioned, the weekly low. This is a 4-hour fair value gap that price traded to on Tuesday and stopped. We'll see if the same fair value gap holds up again. Anyone looking at the 4-hour chart, that's where it is. Created on March 19th. And there goes that low. March 19th lunch low up next. If we pierce through this entire fair value gap, we're already more than halfway done. And we just crossed over into 3 o'clock, so power hour is here. Yep, still have another almost 7 minutes in the macro here. So let's see if we do get a price structure shift in this time frame. Oh, I can go ahead and move this down. Find a swing point. Here. Hey, looks like it wants to make a new low. There it is, to the bottom of the fair value gap. Let's see now if it moves all the way down to the lunch low of March 19th. Let me go back up. Do the hourly. All right, there was a breaker here with the lower edge at 159. So we have a 1 hour fair value gap inside of a breaker. And to my knowledge, we never traded to equilibrium. So let's hope that's what supports price. Otherwise, we could continue going. As mentioned before, we have the March 19th lunch low there. We also have the March 19th low, the low for that day, down at 18,053. Yeah, Darren, there will be a correction. Definitely, because price needs to be balanced, so it will happen. The question is, will it happen during this hour, which would conclude our trading day, or will it happen overnight or into NFP tomorrow? So that's The only thing we have to think about and wait for price to tell us where it wants to go and how it wants to perform. As of now, none of the protected highs have been swept, so we're still waiting. About 90 seconds before the macro ends. Our chart is about maxed out almost with the one candle. All right, let's go ahead and sweep these lows. It looks like on the lower time frame, looks like price wants to go a little bit lower. All right, so we did reach the lower extremity of the fair value gap here. Now we're just waiting to see if it's going to hold or not. 2 hours. Yeah, probably not gonna get a lot between 4 and 5. We could, but I wouldn't bank on it. Maybe the back half of this hour could be explosive back to the upside and cover in maybe some of this range, but I wouldn't imagine it'll get a lot of it. We do have the new day opening gap. You can't see it here at 388. So we could see a recovery to somewhere in that range or maybe into this fair value gap. But at this point, I mean, until it turns around, we can't even really speculate on that. Right. Getting ready to hit 315. We'll look for prices to push towards the midnight open. All right, let's see what happens when these equal lows get swept. Equal lows are swept. No strong reaction. Nothing yet. So maybe the March 19th lunch low may come next. Not necessarily. Satya, not sure how to pronounce your name. But no, this wasn't necessarily a scalper move. We identified a breaker block at the top, actually a unicorn model at the top, at the very top to enter in on. So it wasn't necessarily a scalper move to get in. And HCE, what caused the market to drop? The same thing that always causes the market to drop. Manipulation from market makers. You just got to be on the right side of it and see the setup prior to. Now, no one knew it was going to drop this far, and it's really hard to know that it will drop that far. But to see that it was going to drop, yeah, we all saw that. And there was a news event at 2 o'clock. There was one of the FOMC members was speaking. It was a medium impact news event. So we did expect the market to move some, but we just didn't expect it to completely wipe out all the progress made this week and even start digging into last week, or more than that. We're now back into mid-March levels. An hour fair value gap. All right, let me see. Why don't I have that on my screen? Hmm. Geez. Okay, so this looks like this 1 hour fair value gap is one tick, and it is the March 19 low. Oh, okay. Awesome. Good luck. All right, looking now to see if we can get a sustained move, just like we see in this candle, this 5 minute candle, but something more sustained and to sweep some highs. Still, every candle's high. It's not been taken. You just march down the list. You can see all the highs are being protected and not traded above. So until that happens, price is either consolidating sideways or it's going lower. Question is where. You said it'll seek buy side. Where? Where's the swing high? Last swing high is consequent encroachment of the breaker. 556. Yeah, we're gonna have to look at a lower time frame to find a swing high or some type of liquidity for price to trade to. Yep, Vivian, it's still going. Those legs it grew are strong. You see my chart is here. E-mini Nasdaq 100 futures. June 24 contract. Yeah, one of the issues you might have is even if you have my chart, if you haven't purchased live data, you're going to always be 10 minutes behind. Yeah, sure. So if you're in TradingView, you hit the plus up here. Make sure you highlight indices. And then you want to scroll down until you get to How did I just lose it? Okay, whatever. So here we go. No, that's on the stock market. Not showing here. This is probably should not be. Not sure why. I know I must have typed in something wrong. I don't know what I did. Just do that, and then it'll show up. I'll be able to see it highlighted red. Jesus. I don't get it. Anyway, that's likely the issue. You probably found it in QM 2024. That's what it is. I don't know why it's not showing up. Always when you need something, you can't find it. But anyway, that's the issue. You probably don't have live data. So you have what I have, but you're 10 minutes behind. Oh, that's the issue. Jeez. Sorry, not indices, futures. I knew it should have been right at the top. Yeah, you go into futures, it's right here at the top in Q. And then you're looking for the June contract. Yeah, so just keep that in mind, Nishan, and that you're going to be 10 minutes behind the actual live data unless you're paying for that. If you have a prop firm account, then you should have live data with that. But if you don't and you're just doing demo trades or paper trading as they call it, you won't have live data. It costs $7 per month. All right, the March 19th lunch low has now been taken. Now the daily low for March 19th is still available, and that's down at 18,053. 18,053. We're now right at 330. Another half hour of trading this hour, another 10 minutes on the other half. Yep, 18,500 down to now 18, almost 100. And not even 18,500, like 18,550. It's showing if you have Topstep, Topstep only trades futures, so you should have already had this chart that I'm using. No, RJ, no. Trust me, the Fed speakers didn't do this drop. It's just the way the market wanted things to move prior to NFP tomorrow. They use that event to say that, yeah, we dropped because of the Fed speaker, but that can't be true. Yep. And the reason you know it's not true is because it drops immediately when the Fed speaker steps up to the podium and says, "Hi, my name is whoever," and it immediately drops. So they haven't even released any information yet. Yep, you're right, Amkey. There's always another trade. So if you miss one, you don't have to jump in and risk. Like this one just kept falling and kept falling, kept falling, but that doesn't always happen. Sometimes you'll get a nice drop there and then you'll try to get in down here and then it'll turn around and go back up. So chasing price is not advised. It's better to just wait for the next setup and get your actual setup where you have proper risk and that kind of thing. And the problem is if you do just jump in and it works out, you'll do that a few more times, remembering what happened today and how it worked. So try not to start bad habits if you can help it. My guess is the banks probably didn't lose much. My guess is they were probably on sides and they rolled this down. Yeah, you're right. Yep. Change of state deliveries are definitely not working. Not after not with this level of momentum. No, you need a market structure shift and all the highs I mentioned before, all the highs are holding. So until it starts taking highs, then there's no bullish setup to be had. All right, Pablo. Well, glad you decided to join today, and good to have you. Tom, are you trading prop firm or are you trading your own money? All right, this daily busy consequent encroachment has been supporting price during the last, I would say, like probably 35 days of consolidation on the daily time frame. So let's see how price reacts on the daily from here, because it's pressed through here before. Obviously, we have these lunch lows or the March 19th low. So it's definitely pressed through before, but it's always closed right around this daily busy. So let's see if we get price by the end of today to close somewhere around 18,085. Okay, so you're with Apex. Got it. finally moving in the other direction with a little speed and impulse. Let's see what the 3-minute looks like. Just a couple more minutes before the final macro of today. Seen many of these recently. Oh, okay, so the first second here, we got that jump. Darren, I trade the morning session from 9:15 until noon, and then I trade afternoon from 1300 until 1600, or sometimes 10 minutes after. But yeah, if you go ahead and subscribe to the channel, you'll get a reminder on a daily basis when we go live. All right. Entry. I should have took it. I recognize the breaker too late. Oh, appreciate it, Darren. Yeah, just glad that you're enjoying the stream, and hope to see you in a future one. All right, let's see if we get a bounce out of here. And if not, we'll lick our wounds and try again tomorrow. Don't get to turn around on me now. Of course. Of course that was going to happen. In 1 second, it did all of that. Unreal. Okay, break even. Ooh. You're right. It is better than an L. Well, at least it was based off of my trading plan here. Ready? Got 2 minutes left. I won't be able to stay for the extra 10 minutes. I have plans I need to go do. Oh, thanks. Thank you, Goop God. Appreciate it. Yeah, not too bad. Of the people we have in right now, but we've had over 770 people in here over the 3 hours. So, but yeah, this is the final 15 seconds. So this will end our afternoon session today, and we'll pick up again tomorrow at 9:15 a.m. Thank you to all the returning subscribers for continuing to support the channel, and thank you all to all the new ones as well, to the new everyone who joined today and watched the stream for the first time. Appreciate you hanging in there with us and being a part of this journey. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream and you got some value from it and you want to join so you can continue coming. But like I said, we'll be back tomorrow morning at 9:15. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your trading. There's about 10 minutes left for prop firm traders. And if you have your own money, you can trade as long as you like. But I'll talk to you all tomorrow. Take care.